0-2 from the Rocket. Gone! Williams on the move.
Diving stop by Cal. Oh, Marsh!
Well hit down the left field line. Way back in. Extra goes. Got a good jump.
The 0-2. Struck him out with a fastball.
What a play by Alomar.
Grand slam, Craig Thomas. Oh, boy, what a catch.
And the 6-game drought is over for the National League.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. And coming up, heading for the Hall of Fame.
Pete Rose told me back then I was the best player in the game. What Pete Rose said at that time, I believe.
He shakes hands with all of his teammates. What a wild scene in Montreal.
Coming up next, y'all, right here on This Week in Baseball. This Week in Baseball is brought to you in part by Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth. Unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog.
Okay, listen. Some of you hounds are getting all turned around dealing with the opposite sex. It's real simple. Be your own dog. And if that ain't good enough for her, she ain't good enough for you. How you doing, ladies? Of course, it's easy for me to say.
Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, easy to drink.
I was born beautiful.
This is L.A. We have tons of friends. This is Tosh. This is my wife. This is my neighbor. This is my son-in-law. This is my very good neighbor. This is my number 2 daughter. Hi. This is my neighbor, John. When I found out that I needed surgery, it was kind of a shock.
Luckily, it turned out.
Aflac really helped protect our savings. Just really took the worry away.
Aflac covers the unexpected cost of getting better so you can get on with life.
Don is definitely not a dancer.
In 9th grade, before I got my first part, there was the time I didn't make the school play. And to me, the world had ended. So I came home after school and was crying in my room for at least a couple of hours when my dad came in. And there we sat, at least until midnight, with me sobbing and my dad just listening to me telling things like how I read over that final list of names on the drama room door at least 20 times while praying I'd see Victoria Stewart among the other names that had made it. And, you know, he didn't tell me some story about how he didn't make the football team in junior high or how there would be other things to look forward to. In fact, he really didn't try to tell me anything. I just remember he listened. He really listened to me.
If you're listening to your teenagers, now you're talking. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
The availability of
This is Greg Maddux, the best pitcher in baseball. He could very well win his 4th straight Cy Young Award this year, and he's a big reason for the Atlanta Braves' sizzling surge into first place. Naturally, there are other reasons. Would you like to see 3 of them?
Okay.
Brian Klesko's hitting in the 340s, primarily against right-handers. He's also got a lot of bats.
I've got about 6 or 7 different model bats that I use. You know, I was known as a Batman in the minor leagues. I had different model bats, different everything, but you know, I go around trying different stuff. If I feel like I use that bat in BB and I like it, I'll use it that day. But I've been sticking with these bats I've been using this year, and they feel comfortable, so I'll probably just stick with that.
Rhino has 1,000,000 bats. None of them are his. You know, whatever feels good that day, he's going to borrow from somebody and pick up and hit with. But I don't think he owns a bat with his own name on it.
The name Mark Wohlers is sure getting around. Mark had just 7 saves in his career with Atlanta, but this year he's got 11 already. Hey, Mark, what's up, man?
My first year in the big leagues was in '91. I got called up in August, and then before I knew it, I was in the World Series. When just the year before, in 1990, I was in low A ball down in Sumter, so everything was really accelerated. Everything happened to me real fast, and before I knew it, you know, I was in the big leagues, I was in the World Series, and everyone was talking that I was supposed to step in and be the next closer for the Braves for the next 10 years, and it was You know, there's a lot to live up to.
I think that he's coming in and going strike one. He's establishing his ground immediately. And now, when you go around the league, it isn't Mark Wohlers fearing a great hitter. It's the hitters fearing Mark Wohlers. He's reversed that.
Well, the Braves sure reversed their fortunes with a blue chipper pick in 1990.
With the first round, first pick goes to the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta's selection is Larry W. Jones. He's a shortstop from the Bowles School in Pearson, Florida.
Great kid. He's a winner, and he's a team guy, and he's blessed with a lot of ability. And he only had 11 games in spring training in which to get his defensive skills honed down at third base. He had never been over there in his life. He had played some outfield with us. We've had him in right field when Dave went down. We've had him in left field. You know, Matt Williams is the best defensive third baseman in baseball for my money, and Chipper's right behind him right now. He's going to be a good one.
This is the knuckleball that's thrown by Tim Wakefield of the Boston Red Sox. It's given him a 10-1 record and an American League best 1.63 ERA.
Now the payoff to Jay. Knuckleball struck him out. Wakefield's knuckler is really dancing.
Oh, man, look. Oh, that's a good one. If he does that, you just got to take your hat off and say, nice pitch.
After the inning of getting out with the strikeout, a nice tip of the hat. And that's really got to feel good after what he's been through the last 2 years, not winning in the big league or the minor leagues.
Yeah, it feels great to be on a winning club again. I was talking to Zane Smith and Stan Blend about this. Every time we come to the ballpark, it feels like we're going to win, and that's what we felt like in '92 in Pittsburgh.
Tim Wakefield threw 138 pitches tonight in winning for the second time in 6 games in the National League Championship Series. He's the third pitcher in history to throw 2 complete games in the same league championship series.
But following his spectacular rookie season in '92, Wakefield was hit hard. Ended up in the minor leagues through '94. Early this year, Pittsburgh let him go, and Boston general manager Dan Duquette signed him right up. Had a secret weapon he thought would help Wakefield regain his form.
Tim Wakefield needed a tune-up. We had an edge in that we had the Negro brothers working out in Fort Myers. They were willing to work with him. We had a couple of guys on our staff, Eddie Haas, who had been in Atlanta with the Negros, and Eddie Robinson, who recommended we sign Wakefield. They had worked with the Negros in Atlanta and knew how lethal and good knuckleball could be. And, of course, we had seen Wakefield in '91 and '92. He practically won the pennant in '92 for the Pirates after they brought him up when everybody was looking for pitching down the stretch. So he just needed a tune-up. He needed a mental tune-up. Now he's throwing the knuckleball free and easy, and it's floating like it did for him in the past. And it's a lot of fun to watch. You see that knuckleball that come floating up there, and it renders these big power hitters defenseless.
Without him, the Red Sox might not be in first place right now. He's filled the Roger Clemens void and is making it look, well, so easy.
Just throw it over the plate. There isn't a whole lot of strategy. We go over some reports, but it doesn't pertain to me at all. I just try to throw as many strikes as I can and let my defense catch them.
Great round of applause and a terrific job for Wakefield. The Red Sox needed 7 1/3 innings out of him tonight. They got it.
Now, time for this week's quiz, brought to you by Buick. Dodger catcher Mike Piazza is currently hitting near .350. Now, can you name the last catcher to win a batting title? The answer, right after this.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
There are times when you think of family, long gone. How you're 40 or 45 or older and time has passed by and you've got this empty feeling and how terrible it is. How little you really know about your own family because you never got around to asking. What a loss if you never knew how they got here, who they traveled with or left behind, or what they had in their pockets, where they were going. Could they have done it all when they were just 6 or 7? Family History Center at Ellis Island will be your second chance. Your support will help us computerize records of 17 million immigrants. help you discover your past. Family History Center can be just a dream, or it can be a place to learn more about your past than you ever dreamed of. It's up to you. You can let your past slip away, or you can grab this incredible gift. Support the center. Make it happen.
Now, let's answer this week's Buick quiz. The last catcher to win a batting title hit .342 for Cincinnati back in 1938. Talking about Big Ernie Lombardi. How about that?
Some 18 years ago, I left Dayton, Ohio with 2 very bad knees. And a dream to become a Major League Baseball player. I thank God that the dream came true.
But it wasn't always easy. In Mike Schmidt's rookie season, he hit just .196 with 18 home runs and drew some tough love from then-manager Danny Ozark.
I said, you're going to hit the way I want you to hit, or you can take off. I says, your damn .198 average didn't impress me or anybody else, and your .245 average over there didn't impress me.
Well, Mike did take off on a first-ballot Hall of Fame career. He played 18 seasons, all of them in Philly. 10 times an All-Star, 3 times the most valuable player. And in 1980, he helped lead the Phillies to their first pennant in 30 years.
The pitch to Schmidt. Long drive to left field. He buried it. He buried it way back. Out of here. Home run. Mike Schmidt puts the Phillies up 6-4. Oh, what a drive by Schmidt. Unbelievable.
Well, Pete Rose told me back then I was the best player in the game. What Pete Rose said at that time, I believed. And knowing that Pete thought that, of course, Pete had a pretty good eye for who was playing the game well, really fueled my confidence.
That confidence reached an all-time high in 1980 when the Phillies won their first World Series title ever. And Schmidt was named both League and World Series MVP.
The 1980 playoffs World Series celebration the following day in the city down Broad Street in Philadelphia of 7 million people, a ticker tape parade, I think will be forever documented in this city. That was one of the great moments in Philadelphia sports history.
Get out of here.
Hit to deep left center.
Get up, get up. Out
of here, home run. Michael Jack Schmidt and the Phillies lead it 4-0.
I felt that 1981 was the pinnacle, the high point in terms of performance for Mike Schmidt. I set some standards for myself as a player, defensively and offensively that year that were going to be awful tough to live up to for the rest of my career.
Right back and off the glove, and he will not. Mike Schmidt, what a play to get him! Whoa, look at this. What a play Mike Schmidt made.
If there was any fun on the field, for me, it was the great play. I would work on the great play. I didn't like to work on routine ground balls. I like to work on, the tough ones and the strange ones. And, the easy play for me was the high chopper in infield. You had a bare hand, or the ball way deep in the hole, or way behind third. That was a play I had fun with. That's where I got my notoriety, making the great play.
And Mike Schmidt is going to bat. He will bat, seeking home run number 500 with runners at first and third, 2 down in the ninth. And you talk about a home run being important.
And 3-0, I told myself, now go with what got you here. Get down on that ball, and he threw me a knee-high fastball, and I swung right down through it, and the ball.
The 3-0 pitch.
Swing a long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run for Michael Jack Schmidt.
I knew as soon as I hit it, it was a home run. And that allowed me to react emotionally. I didn't plan that. It was not choreographed. Maybe if I had it to do over, I could have, hot dogged it a little bit more, take a little more time, but I was so happy.
Great players do great things. That's a great thing you just saw there.
End of story.
Not quite. Schmidt went on to hit 548 home runs, earned respect as the greatest third baseman ever. Joining Schmidt at the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies this weekend, fellow former Philly Richie Ashburn. Ashburn was a center fielder who led the majors in outfield putouts a record 9 times. He had 234 stolen bases, scored more than 1,300 runs, and he hit over 300 9 times.
Because of my speed, I didn't really get involved in any slumps. If I topped the ball or I could bunt, I was a good bunter. I think the longest I went without a base hit, I think, was 32 times, 0 for 32. And yet that same year, I hit 350.
Rookie of the Year, twice batting champion, 5-time All-Star, National League champion in 1950. Remember, the Phils led Brooklyn by 1 game when they met in the final game of the season. 9th inning, score tied at 1. Brooklyn, 2 men on. Duke Snyder singles to center, and Ashburn throws Cal Abrams out at home.
It wasn't a tough play. It's a play that I had practiced probably hundreds and hundreds of times. It was what it was a routine play at a crucial time.
The Phillies went on to win the pennant that year, and Ashburn went on to hit .308 in his career. Since 1963, he's been a Phillies announcer, one who finds a silver lining in most everything.
Had this happened 20 years ago, my grandchildren wouldn't have been able to see it. So now they're seeing it, and I'm pleased about that.
Okay,
Brute presents Men Are Back. Don Mattingly's been put down by a lot of people of late. But you know, fans, men are back, as Donnie Baseball showed in the Yankees' 7-game winning streak.
way back to right field. Goodbye.
That's his 3rd homer in this homestand, and he is really on a tear.
Want to see something cool? Want to see something really cool? New Brute Clear Gel Antiperspirants and Deodorants with click control. 3 clicks give you just the right amount you need for all-day protection. The click keeps you cool from morning to night. Because the last thing you want to do is lose your cool. Brute by Fabergé, the essence of...
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Negative contact. Sir, nothing up there but sky.
It's not just a revolutionary new aircraft. It's a revolutionary new technology called stealth. And it will make an airplane all but invisible to radar. With not just exotic shapes, but advanced composite materials and onboard computers so sophisticated, their performance is no less than astounding. So if you want a career in tomorrow's technology, take a close look at the Air Force, because sometimes the biggest opportunities
Still nothing, sir.
are the hardest to see. Aim high, Air Force.
Now, this week's Aflac trivia question. Dante Bichette's 18th home run was his first on the road. Now, who was the last man to hit his first 17 home runs at home? Think 5'11", folks. When Dave Stewart retired this week, baseball lost one of its best ambassadors.
Now, you know with that glove, you're a lifetime Oakland A fan now. All right? While you open it, you got to get your hand in there. See, you put your hand in there. You got your hand in there, right? There you go. There you go.
Dave Stewart began his career with the Dodgers in 1981, moved on to Texas and Philadelphia, but never really found his groove. It wasn't until 1987 with Oakland that he emerged as a 4-time 20-game winner under the tutelage of Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan. So thanks for all your goodwill, Smoke, and so long, buddy.
I think it was Robin Yount that said, You know, I always want to be good to the game because it's really been good to me. And I never want to disrespect anything about this because it's taking care of me. It's taking care of my family.
Next up, the top 5 plays of the week. Brought to you by Red Dog Beer.
The pitch to him. Driven toward right center. Marquise. Did he get it? He got it. He got it. Marquise Grissom saved 2 runs. The little guy in center field really pulled one off. Here's the 2-2. Right back up the middle. Shortstop Jay Bell. Nice play. Little backhand flip to King on to first for 2. How many times has Jeff King played second base?
I don't know, but he looked pretty comfortable. That was a dazzler.
In the 3-2 pitch. The drive right center field. Langford, what a play! What a play by Ray Langford.
A lot of times you see guys dive when they don't have to. That was a full extension dive and a great catch.
Lays down a beauty of a bunt. And is thrown out by a beauty of a play, and Chipper Jones is down. He may have run headlong into Javi Lopez. That's got to be almost like getting hit with a sucker punch, isn't it? 2-2 delivery. Vizcaino up the middle. Dunston cannot get it. Making the turn, Jeff Kent. Up with the ball, McRae. McRae's front of the play. Cut off Grace. The throw to second is in time.
Grace is right there. His only hope is to cut it off and try to get Vizcaino.
But the greatest catch of the week was also the most horrifying. Pittsburgh center fielder Jacob Brumfield made it as he crashed into right fielder Dave Clark Tuesday afternoon against Atlanta. The game was delayed 23 minutes while both players were immobilized. Brumfield suffered deep cuts and bruises. Clark, a broken collarbone, which will most likely keep him out the rest of the year. But it could have been a lot worse. Now, let's answer this week's Aflac Trivia question. Who was the last man to hit his first 17 homers at home? He hit 511 as a total. Mel Ott in 1943. Time now for the Alka-Seltzer Player of the Week. It's the Angel in the outfield, rookie Garrett Anderson. One of the reasons California is doing so well. Garrett hit near 500 this week with 7 runs scored, 9 RBIs, and 2 home runs as California pulls away.
It has been belted by Anderson. Garrett Anderson. When will it stop, if ever?
Everybody hates to eat and run. We'd rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing makes you feel better faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
You know, I got no problem with a dog being tough, but you gotta control it.
Stop right there.
Yo, Shep, be cool. Some dogs have been trained to be antisocial. It ain't their fault. Come on, boys. You're acting like fools. See?
How you doing, Red Dog?
You got the goods. You don't have to prove it.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth, easy to drink.
My friend, you are real brave.
Please stop crying. Well, all of my friends drink. And it's not like we get drunk or anything. We just like to have a good time. Get off my back! Don't you think you're making a big deal out of this? I mean, I don't have the problem. You have the problem. No more drinking. Stop crying! Promise it's the last time.
You've tried everything. Nothing's worked.
Maybe it walked out of your purse. Maybe you lost it. Don't go accusing me.
But there is hope. Get through to us at the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, and we'll help you get through to them. Just as we've helped thousands of others. Just don't give up.